recorded that conversation and posted, it would have been excellent. And I hope we can have something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor.
Do you see them both light up?
Hey, welcome back. It's your man Wise, and yes, we got to talk about it, man. We have big news today. What a freaking week. And it's only Tuesday. Not only is Donald J. Trump back on X, he posted for the first time since August 2023. But him and Elon Musk broke the internet last night. Literally, they broke the internet last night with a epic, historic conversation on X Spaces. Elon Musk, the genius behind SpaceX, Tesla, and the man who brought X to bring free speech back to social media, sat down with the 45th president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And let me tell you, this wasn't just a conversation. This was a seismic event that sent shockwaves through the political landscape. They say that lightning doesn't strike twice, but last night, it struck with the force of 1,000 storms. The interview was scheduled to start at 8 p.m., but as soon as they hit go, the system crashed. Musk later revealed that X was hit with a massive DDoS attack right at the start. Coincidence? I don't think so. The globalists and their cronies were terrified. They knew what was coming. A no-holds-barred, uncensored, open conversation between the most influential tech innovator of our time and the man who redefined American politics. Despite the attacks, despite the technical issues, Elon and Trump persisted on. It took 42 minutes to get back online, but when they did, the floodgates opened. Over 1 million people were able to tune into this thing live. And as of this morning, approximately 1 billion people have seen the interview. Let that sink in. 1 billion people have watched this interview. It's got to be well over 1 billion at this point. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this goes to show how Kamala's manufactured moment is being pushed and paid for by the shills and nothing more. What a massive turning point this could be. It was so nice to hear, for a change, Trump have a conversation with another great man without being berated. And X can reach an otherwise unreachable audience so that Trump's real objectives can be heard without the mainstream media propaganda. This interview's gotta be a major wake-up call for the mainstream media to report news and stay out of politics if they want to survive. Anyway, this was more than just an interview. It was a cultural moment. The EU, hear me now, the European Union was so panicked by the idea of these two powerful voices coming together that they actually sent a letter to Elon Musk, threatening action against X if they didn't censor the conversation. Yes, the European Union was actively trying to censor this conversation because they were so scared of what Trump and Elon had to say. This is very Orwellian, 1984. Pure, unadulterated government overreach trying to muzzle the voices that challenge the status quo. But Elon Musk didn't back down. This wasn't just about Elon and Trump. This was about the future of free speech in America and around the world. And the best part was the entire world was watching.
And it's, I'd just like to note to people listening, like I've not been very political before, and if you look at my record, I've actually been. I'm not like some they try to paint me as like a far right guy, which is absurd because I'm like making electric vehicles and solar and batteries, helping them with the environment, and I actually I supported Obama. I stood in line for 6 hours to shake Obama's hand when he was running for president, and so it's not like I'm like some sort of dyed-in-the-wool long-term Republican. I call myself, historically a moderate Democrat, but now I feel like we're really at a critical juncture for the country, and I think a lot of people thought the Biden administration would be a moderate administration, but it's not, and obviously we're just going to see an even further left uh, administration with Kamala. That's my honest opinion. I mean, her dad is literally. I mean, she was brought up as an actual. Her dad is a Marxist economist. That's, you can Google it. I mean, it's not a. We're not making this up. That's how she was brought up. So, and we want to have a future that is prosperous. And I think we're just at this critical juncture. And I think this is a case of the America is kind of at a fork in the road, and
True.
and I think it will take the path to, like, you are the path to prosperity, and I think Kamala is the opposite. Then that's my honest opinion. I'm gonna get attacked like crazy, and I've also experienced quite a bit of lawfare myself. And but I'm just trying to tell people my honest opinion, and I haven't been really active in politics before, and I'm just trying to point out that my track record historically has been moderate, if not moderate, slightly left, and so this is to people out there who are in the moderate camp to say, I think you should support Donald Trump for president. And I think it's actually a very important junction in the road, and we're in deep trouble if it goes the other way.
Well, I want to thank you. And, I actually always did think of you as somewhat left. I must say that. So it's
Yeah.
even more of an
Well,
honor to have
yeah.
your endorsement. I know how strong you feel about it. But, when you think of her, San Francisco, 15 years ago, I had a great friend, Bob Tish. He said it's the greatest city in America. And now it's almost not livable there. And California likewise. And she was involved in the destruction of San Francisco and the destruction of California. And she will be involved in the destruction of our country if people are so unwise as to elect her.
You can just sense the mutual respect they have for each other. Two American heroes. And they're right. What's to stop Kamala from destroying the U.S. as she helped to do so with San Francisco and California? Just take a look around you. She's been the VP for 3 years or 3.5 years. And have things gotten any better? I want to talk about the conversation for a moment. What an outstanding dialogue. Elon started the interview by asking Trump about the assassination attempt. Then for over 2 hours, they talked about everything from the state of the economy to the future of technology to the catastrophic effects of the radical left policies. They talked about mass migration, with Trump bringing up that there will have to be mass deportations just in order for us to even have a country. These guys should do an X Spaces conversation every week or two, or at least once a month up until the election. This was so much more powerful than the mainstream media debates by orders of magnitude, and there is so many subjects that they didn't even get to discuss. Plus, unlike the heavy scripted nonsense we get from Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, this was two leaders speaking from the heart, raw, unscripted, and real. And let's not forget, this wasn't just any CEO talking to Trump. This was Elon Musk, a man who voted for Obama, a man who has openly criticized both sides of the political spectrum, now sitting down and having a serious conversation with President Trump. If that doesn't make you think, I really don't know what will. Elon must know the dangers of the far left agenda. He's had a chance to see it firsthand, what their policies do to innovation, to freedom, to the very fabric of our society. So when someone as smart as Elon Musk, someone who's been on the other side of the political fence is supporting Trump, it should be a wake-up call to any and everyone who is still on the fence. Musk talked about how he hasn't been very political in the past, but now he's standing up because he sees the writing on the wall. He sees the disaster that awaits if Kamala Harris and her radical policies take hold. He also lives in San Francisco, or at least at once upon a time lived in San Francisco. He got a chance for himself to see the difference. Kamala, the same woman who hasn't done a single interview since becoming the Democratic nominee, the same woman who has been hiding from the media, who also just declined a Time magazine interview, I add, and they're practically some of her biggest fans. That should tell you everything you need to know about these people. Trump and Musk were out there having an over 2 hour long conversation with the American people listening. And heck, people around the globe listening, because what happens here definitely affects so many other people around the world. This was a new age fireside chat, while Kamala Harris couldn't handle 5 minutes of unscripted dialogue, let alone 2 hours. And don't forget, Kamala was invited to do a X Spaces interview as well, but she declined to do that one also. Now, I don't know, guys, but this was more than just a conversation. It was a statement about the importance of free speech, the need and importance of transparency, and the dangers of government overreach. The mainstream media is doing everything they can to twist the narrative, to make you believe that Trump and Musk are villains. But the truth is out there. And last night, the truth spoke for over 2 hours, uninterrupted, unfiltered, and uncensored. And of course, in their usual fashion, the lefties are absolutely losing their minds over this. Check this out.
We're all back. Imran, take us through what Elon Musk is doing and the theories as to what his motives are.
Well, unfortunately, I can't tell you what's in the hearts of any individual, but I can tell you what our researchers have been studying with Mr. Musk's own output on his platform X. We examined posts about the US elections that he'd posted between January the 1st and July the 31st, identifying 50 posts that independent fact checkers found to be false. Now, that those 50 posts had accrued 1.2 billion views. And there were three main categories. There was an AI-generated fake video of the Democratic nominee, Kamala Harris, which had 100 million plus views. There were claims that Democrats are importing voters, the Great Replacement Theory, a really, really dangerous lie that has led to bloodshed on American streets at the Tree of Life synagogue in Pittsburgh. It's the same conspiracy theory that led to the Christchurch massacre in New Zealand and to the assassination of Joe Cox, a member of parliament in my home country, the United Kingdom. And 250 million views for claims that voting is vulnerable to fraud. None of the posts displayed a community note, which is odd because Mr. Musk says that community notes, the sort of the self-regulation scheme for posting, is a way of ensuring that it's an immediate way to refute anything false, are the exact words he said. None of them carried one of those community notes, and begs the question, is he suppressing notes on his own posts so that he's not his own users? But it does appear clear that he's abusing his privileged position to sow disinformation that generates discord and distrust in the electoral process. Precisely the kind of conspiracy theories that lead then to, atrocious assaults on election workers and the kinds of thing that the Secretary of State was just.
Really? Abusing his privileged position to sow disinformation. These people are ridiculous, man. So what exactly are you guys doing right now? These clowns hate free speech. They are absolutely beside themselves because no one with an ounce of common sense believes a word the Democrat bought and paid for legacy media has to say. This is also coming from the same people who claim 51 intelligence agents signed off on Hunter Biden's laptop being Russian propaganda or disinformation, and then got caught lying about it. And now they're claiming 100 independent fact checkers are saying what Elon posts is false information or false misinformation. You can't make this stuff up, man. But I'll tell you what, our side's winning. The conversation didn't even start and you already had the European Union and the leftist propagandists labeling it disinformation. Now think about this. These folks hadn't said a word yet and they were calling it disinformation. Maybe they should just wait at least for a single word to be uttered before they start completely erupting. I mean, it might do them good to just listen to a long form conversation for a second. It may. They might want to take some notes though, for sure. Like, how unhinged do you have to be to try and shut down a conversation before it even happens? I can't believe people are falling in line with this. I really can't. I don't understand why people would want to live under that type of tyranny. They are scared to death of free speech because they know that if the people start hearing the truth, their whole house of cards will come crashing down immediately. Did you guys get a chance to see Kamala Harris's response to this? Check this out. Kamala's campaign released a statement. Wow, they are so butthurt, man, but this is amazing. The statement reads, Donald Trump's extremism and dangerous Project 2025 agenda is a feature, not a glitch of his campaign, which was on full display for those unlucky enough to listen in tonight during whatever that was on x.com. Yeah, so, or that already tells me they haven't watched a minute of the stream. No mention whatsoever of Project 25, though. Think about that. They're just going to keep using Project 2025 to fearmonger folks. And I see people in my comment section talking about, what about Project 2025? Most of those folks, they hadn't even taken the time to read Project 25. It's well over 900 pages, but most of them hadn't even taken the time to go read the daggone, just the synopsis of it. But anyway, let's continue. Trump's entire campaign is in service of people like Elon Musk and himself, self-obsessed rich guys who will sell out the middle class and who cannot run a live stream in the year 2024. Now, where was all that smoke for NABJ when they couldn't get their equipment up and running and they were 35 minutes late to interview President Trump? Where was that smoke at for them? They'd be happy to get a few thousand people on a space with Kamala. This is rich coming from a party whose elites just led a coup against their own presidential nominee to install another elite who is somehow worth millions and millions of dollars on a politician's salary. Now let this sink in. Kamala Harris, they say, is worth upwards of $15 million. She's been a public servant for the better part of 27 years? How do you amass $15 million? You haven't created any invention. You don't own a business. Your claim to fame is in politics. That's how you've earned your living. How did you get to a point that you are a decamillionaire? How did that happen? Let me tell you something. It's pretty stupid for a presidential candidate who constantly declines public, candid speaking appearances to attack a candidate who is actually making those appearances, speaking to the people. It's pathetic, it's cowardly, and it's exactly what we've come to expect from her. And Joe Biden, for that matter. Although recently he's been out there doing a whole lot more interviews than what he was doing when he was, I guess, I don't want to say when he was president, because I guess technically he is president, but when he was actually running for president again. But I can understand how two human beings having an honest, unscripted conversation about issues that matter to normal people would confuse her. I definitely understand that. She's probably never done that in her entire life, to be honest with you. I mean, this situation, man, is so out of touch, but it's to be expected from the party that's literally in bed with Hollywood and big tech like Google, Facebook, TikTok, and the mainstream media apparatus. But let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love and support. Consider joining the ARP family. It supports me, the team, the channel. It gives us the ability to do what we do on a day-to-day basis. I appreciate each person that has joined the ARP family thus far. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. And I'm going to catch up with you all next time. Peace.